Yeah, I'll have to keep this one very short, Paul. Thank you both for some really interesting and provocative ideas. I suppose key point that we started with was culture operates nationally, organizationally, and even there are multiple subcultures. Well-being, tricky to define, difficult to track, very personal. It's personal to individuals. It's then personal to organizations. So challenging to make a correlation. So that would be my overall sense. Couple of things that I think came out of it. Um, the, the whole question of the impact of national culture on organizational cultures, the timeline over which they might happen, where the shifts might be changing, have to be taken into account. We have all had an aberration, which was the pandemic, that took 2 years to more or less see us through it, making it even more challenging to make an assessment or a firm grounding of the impact of our culture on well-being. But I'd summarize it in the very last point, Anthony, that you made, which I think is one. It's an optimistic point, but it's the whole question of the impact of social media on our organizations. My analogy of the garden hose from 15 or 20 years ago to the multiple fire hoses of today, which is largely due to social media. But perhaps we are at the very bottom of that well-being curve, with the possibility to increase positively on well-being. But it's likely to need a shift, which you identified, Anthony, of does social media itself now need to change because of AI, because of the lack of clarity as to whose voice are we hearing? Is that likely to drive people back into individual personal connections? And from that, we would hope that personal well-being and collective well-being would start to actually have an upward trajectory into the coming years.